Hello everyone, welcome to today's class, and today's title is Hero or Murderer. Now, let's move on to the language focus. 1번. We all try our best to avoid making eye contact or otherwise engaging, but if you're on a crowded train, it can get hard or be hard to get away. It can be hard is what we're going to concentrate on. And can be hard is used to describe a task that is often difficult to accomplish. Very simply, it can be hard. We can also say difficult as a synonym. 뭐뭐 하는 것은 어렵다. basic 뭐뭐 하기 어렵다. So, it can be hard to predict what will make people happy. Angry. And happy, I guess. So, 무엇이 사람들을 화나게 할지 예측하는 것은 어려울 수도 있습니다. So, that's something I've noticed as well. Some people get very angry at things that I didn't realize were either offensive or that big of a deal. But yeah, these days, many people get angry for many reasons. It's very hard to judge a person's character these days, I think. Or it can be hard to understand native speakers talking to each other at full speed. 원어민들이 예를 들어서 한국 원어민들이 영어 원어민들이 최대 속도로 서로 이야기하는 것을 이해하는 것은 어려울 수도 있습니다. Right. So, example, I speak at a very clear pace. I try to slow down for you sometimes. I do speed up. However, the way I speak to you is very different from how I actually would speak to, let's say, another native speaker. Saying that, though, I have an Australian accent, and if I talk to my American friends, they need me to slow down. So, yeah, it's depends on the accent. All right, let's look at 2번 now. Since when, they ask, is it acceptable to kill a man for being obnoxious? Okay, since when is what we're going to concentrate on next. So use since when to suggest that something does not seem right. This is a rhetorical question, meaning that the speaker is not expecting an answer. So as an example, a rhetorical question is, in Australia, our culture when it comes to language has many rhetorical questions. If we say to you, oh, how's the weather today? That doesn't mean, 오늘 날씨 어때요? It means, 오늘 날씨가 엄청 좋은데? Alright? But it also depends on the way we say it. If I genuinely ask you, oh, so how's the weather today? Is it rainy? You could answer back, oh yeah, it's rainy, 비 많이 와요. 근데 if I just say it like this, oh, how's the weather today? I'm saying it like, oh, 오늘 날씨 너무 좋아요. That's what a rhetorical question is. It doesn't require an answer. So that's why we use since then. Now, since then literally would translate to like 언제부터. But you have to understand it's a rhetorical question, therefore meaning it doesn't need to be answered. 그래서 since when is a person's appearance more important than their personality? 그 언제부터 사람의 외모가 성격보다 더 중요해? In this situation, we don't need an answer. We just think it's stupid that a person's appearance is more important than a person's personality. 다음은 Since when do we have to agree with people just to be polite? 그러니까 언제부터 우리는 단지 예를 갖추기 위해 사람들과 동의해야 합니까? Like, we don't have to agree about everything. And we're not asking, even though you can see that there is a question mark, it does not need to be answered. Okay, now let's look at the language focus quiz. 1번. It can be hard. 하기 어려워요. Or 하는 것은 어렵다. It can be hard to guess. What can it be hard to guess? Yeah, let's talk about the weather again. What the weather will be. 날씨가 어떨지 추측하기 어렵습니다. So, you look outside, it looked like it might rain, but it might not. 2번. Can be hard. It can be hard to avoid paying taxes. 세금 납부를 피하기 어렵습니다. It's also illegal, so don't do that. Since when? Remember? Since when is our rhetorical question. Since when? 언제부터? 근데 using it as 질문인데 대답 안 해도 돼요. So since when is it okay to, I don't know, yell at your employees? 언제부터 직원들에게 소리 질러도 괜찮아? I don't think it's ever okay to yell at an employee because they're humans and they're not children. Even though some employees might act like children, they're adults. And yeah, I think it's stupid. The worst cases I've seen here in South Korea is when bosses hit their employees. Yeah, not okay. Since when do we have to work overtime for no pay? 언제부터 무급으로 야근을 해야 하나요? We should never have to work for no pay if we're doing 야근하다. Alright, now let's look at the further discussion. 1번. In what ways are military training and police training the same? In what ways are they different? 군사훈련과 경찰훈련과 어떤 면에서 동일합니까? 그들은 어떤 면에서 다릅니까? So how are military and police training the same? I guess military and police training, they train to protect themselves, first and foremost. They also train to protect others, I guess, is the most important part of their job. In what ways are they different? Obviously, the environment is very different. For police, they are more working on the streets. Very rarely do they, especially in Korea, do they need to have the special forces to come in. Militaries, they train for war, they train for battle, they train for extraction. Many, many, many different ways. 2번. As this article mentions, some people say that the police were racist for not arresting the Marine immediately. What is your opinion? 어떤 사람들은 경찰이 해병을 즉시 체포하지 않은 것에 대해 인종차별주의에 처했다고 말했습니다. 이것에 대한 당신의 의견은 어때요? See, this is an American situation, right? And obviously there are a lot of tensions between people of all different races in America. I mean, every country, I think, has a large majority of racist people. However, America, unfortunately, has it on the global scale that everyone looks at that country as an example, and therefore, if a policeman does something wrong, they have to be careful who they've done wrong by, because if it's a person of color, they usually go to racist situations first. I mean, the public usually talks about racist situations first, even if it wasn't intended to be racist. So it's difficult to say whether, the police were being racist or not, but it's definitely not uncommon to hear in the news that police officers have been racially profiling certain people and therefore mistreating them more. And there are many famous cases. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is I forgot his name, so it doesn't come to mind. There's so many though. Can't think of his name, but it's on the tip of my tongue. But I'm sure you might have heard of it. George Floyd, that's who it was. So yeah, I can't speak on behalf of the police. Anyway, that wraps up for today's class, and I'll see you on the next class.
Unstable.
Unstable.
Engage.
Engage.
Justifiable.
Justifiable.
Busk.
Busk.
Confront.
Confront.
Obnoxious.
Obnoxious.